Day one of Browns rookie minicamp in the books on Friday. Let's talk about some players we were watching today. We each got a chance to talk to some different players. So Mary Kay, who's the player that you heard from today that you watched that you want to talk about here?
Well, I talked to Mike Hall Jr. a little bit off to the side after we had our availability with him at the podium, and I had a great conversation with him. We talked about a number of different topics, including why people thought he may have had some off-the-field issues heading into this draft, so we addressed that. And then I went out and watched him in this practice, and I could see that explosive first step, the reason why the Browns drafted him. His ability to just get off the ball, get into the backfield, and wreak havoc on those quarterbacks. He showed it today. I think Kevin Stefanski saw it. We asked him about it, and he's off to a great start.
Yeah, and Ashley, when you kind of watched him, you watched the new defensive line coach, Jacques Césaire, kind of work with him. You saw some of that technique, some of that explosiveness, some of that ability that they're hoping he can bring from that three technique spot.
I was going to say, I loved watching Jacques Césaire coach these guys up. He's a very hands-on guy. I think all the new assistants that we had a chance to see today for the first time on the field all seemed very hands-on with these rookies. I think it's a great environment to see them actually teaching and being in the moment with players. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think we saw that first step from him. I think he was taking that coaching very well, and that's not always easy to do for a rookie.
Okay, Ashley, how about you go next? Who did you talk to? Who did you watch? Let's stay on the defensive line.
Yeah, we're going to stay on the defensive line because I was very interested to hear from Jowon Briggs today and did get to see him next to Michael Hall. And I will say, I don't think he looked out of place at all, even though he is a 7th rounder. I do think that's obviously part of his story, though. People are going to want to know why he fell to the 7th round. Of course, there was a chance he could have gone undrafted. And it's really interesting because the scheme he played in Cincinnati is not the same type of scheme that it is for D linemen in Berea here, obviously. So it's totally different for him to get after quarterbacks. But I do think you saw some of that explosiveness in these drills that the Browns have picked up on. He's also, of course, a bit of a renaissance man. Plays over 8 different instruments. He's traveled the world because he's an amazing tenor singer. So really great interview, really interesting guy.
Yeah, Mary Kay, he kind of looks the part too, right? Like he was on that freaks list like Ashley mentioned. I mean, he kind of looks the part at least.
He really does look the part. We've been talking about that. We knew that he would, and he did not disappoint. And of course, I saw you guys over there interviewing him for the longest time. It was very animated. I had heard that as well, that he had a great personality, that he was going to bring a lot of energy to the table, as well as some good movement at the defensive line spot.
And the other guy we got to talk to was Nathaniel Watson, the linebacker. Spent 6 years at Mississippi State. Actually arrived before Martin Emerson and left after Martin Emerson. He joked that now Martin is kind of the old head here. He's got to listen to him. It was the other way around at Mississippi State. And Mary Kay, this guy's going to have a chance to contribute, I think, right away, especially on special teams.
I think so too. And they were doing some special teams drills today, Dan. I know you were looking for that, but they were doing some special team stuff, and he is going to be a key component of that kickoff return coverage unit. So again, he looked good out there. He looked like he's ready to get out there and play some ball. He's certainly played enough of it in his time.
Yeah, Ashley, he said he's just excited to hit people, which is good. If you're a linebacker and you're going to be playing special teams, you better love hitting people.
Yeah, I did ask Nathaniel Watson about these new kickoff rule changes because, of course, they're new for everybody. So I asked him, you're going to be a part of this from the ground floor. Does that excite you at all? And I think the first thing he said was, well, I'm excited that we get to line up closer now because I love to hit people. So I think that's the perfect attitude, I think, from what we heard from him and saw today. Him and Bubba Ventrone are probably going to get along great.
Okay, that's our wrap here from Rookie Minicamp. As you can probably hear, there's like a party starting over here behind us, so we got to go play a little lacrosse and get in on this party. We will have full coverage of Rookie Minicamp at cleveland.com/Browns.